What's shaking, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Shay, and today we're going to talk about my reading goals and my channel goals in 2024. So first, let's talk about our reading goal, how many books we want to read. I set my goal in 2023 to 100 books. I'm just barely going to meet that. I may be 101, 102, but I'm right there at it. And so I'm going to probably lower it to about 80 books, just to kind of give myself some leeway in the new year. Another thing that I would like to talk about is what kind of books I'm going to be reading. So I don't want to limit myself to I have to read a certain genre of books. Now, fantasy is my main genre, and I do sprinkle in horror and thrillers in here, and oftentimes romance. And I just don't want to feel bad if I jump out of those categories or read a different kind of book. If I want to pick up a romance, then I'm going to pick up a romance, and I feel like I should not feel guilty about that. Likewise, I don't want to feel guilty for participating in other activities that are outside of reading, things I do with my kids, watch TV, listen to music. I love music and I love other forms of entertainment, and I do not want to feel guilty or bad about participating in those kinds of things. Another thing is, I think I made a goal in 2023 about buying books, but there's going to be no kind of goal like that this year. I want to buy what I want to buy without feeling guilty about buying it. I have said that I am very privileged to be able to purchase books. I do use my library and other free resources, but I also do buy books because that is the one hobby that I choose to spend my money on, and so I am privileged to be able to do so, and I like the fact that I can support these authors. Without people supporting them monetarily, buying these books, we wouldn't have authors and we wouldn't have books. So and that's not to make anybody feel bad that doesn't buy books, but I have the privilege to do that, and I want to do that. I want to support these authors. Speaking of, I want to start binging my series Closer Together, because one of my issues with reading is that you know, I'm reading these series multiple months apart and I forget what happens in the first book, and then that ruins my enjoyment for the subsequent books. I'm going to put another service announcement in here. If you are an author, please, 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 can we normalize recaps in front of subsequent books and series? I feel like, number one, that would get people buying your books, buying the first book in a series. I feel like we would buy more of that if, instead of waiting for the whole series to be out, I feel like we would read them if we had a recap. I don't know. Indie authors, self-pub authors, please do this. I know that y'all, you know, the ball's in your court there, and if you can do this, it would make me read a lot more indie self-pub series. Speaking of indie and self-published books, I want to read more of those in 2024. That's always going to be a goal of mine. I think I did pretty good in 2023. I am going to have a stats video coming up about, you know, what percentage I read of indie books, how much money I spent on books. All of that is coming up in a video in January, so look out for that. But I always want to give more love and appreciation to indie self-published works. Now let's talk about some channel goals. So in the new year, I'm still going to be continuing my TBR jars. I just may not do it every month. I didn't do it every month in 2023, and I found a good balance of not doing that every single month. I will be doing some different things some months and some TBR jars some months. I really enjoy the fact that the TBR jars are finding really good picks that I otherwise wouldn't have gotten to for a long time. I like that I'm reading at least one sequel a month. I'm reading new release, I'm reading backlist, I'm reading owned, I'm reading self-pub indie. I'm like holding myself accountable to reading at least one out of each jar. I am having a lot of success with that. I want to do more themed reading vlogs in 2024. I hesitate to do any themed reading vlogs because it's going to put me in a corner where I have to read a certain type of book. It will stunt my enjoyment of my reading. So I want to do them, but I want to only put out one every 2 to 3 months. And speaking of what we're going to be posting, my goal for posting on this channel is at least once a week, which I have done throughout majority of the entirety of 23. I want to continue into 2024, but I want to kind of put out at least 6 to 8 videos a month, kind of in that zone. So some weeks I'll post 2 videos, maybe one month I'll post 2 every week. I don't know, but that is kind of the comfort zone that I want to sit in. I don't want to make this a thing that I don't like to do. I want to film and edit and do when I want to do it, and I want to make the content that I want to make. You'll notice on my channel that there will always be a TBR video, a wrap-up video, and a new releases video. So those are the 3 videos that have kind of been staples on my channel, and then we usually have 1 or 2 reading vlogs a month that I also do. You won't find a lot of sit-down recommendation videos yet, because I find that if I go and I'm watching people do these sit-down recommendation videos, that in my corner of BookTube, we're all talking about the same exact books over and over and over and over and over again. And while some people that are new to these kinds of genres and these kinds of things, they get something out of that, I don't necessarily get something out of that, and it's not something that I necessarily like to film, because I feel like I'm talking about the same books over and over and over and over and over again. I want to, again, continue to read more self-published, indie, underrated fantasy, so I can do more of that content on my channel. Not to say if you're reading these popular books, you shouldn't talk about them on your channel. It's just not something that I particularly want to do. I want to be able to talk to you about the lesser known works, and I may do a lot of sit-down videos about self-pub indie, or, you know, underrated fantasy, sci-fi, that kind of thing. Not to say that in my reading vlogs I still won't be reading popular books, because there are several popular series that I still want to get to, I still want to read, and I still want to talk about them. You just won't find it in a sit-down recommendation video from me. Another thing that I want to do with the channel is, you know, be more interactive in the community. I feel like the self-pub indie community has embraced me and embraced, you know, they are such a loving community and made me feel so welcome. And listen, I watch y'all's videos. I know that oftentimes I don't comment on every single video, and I've got to get better about that, but I watch every single one of y'all's videos. I spend hours on BookTube per day. I have it in my ears when I should be like listening to music or audiobooks. Like, I'm listening to BookTube, and sometimes I forget to go back and comment, and I need to get better about that. I want to build friendships in this community. I want to get to know all of you guys and I need to be better about interacting, so I'm hoping to be better about that. I did make a Twitter last year, and I'm having difficulty keeping up. I have an 8-to-5 job, I have 2 kids, I have a husband, I have dogs, I have a house that I have to keep clean, I have to read for what the content I'm putting up on this channel, and I have to film videos, and I have to edit them. So a lot of times that comment space gets, you know, like, filtered out, and so I've tried it to dabble into Twitter, which I will continue to do this year, and try to post more frequently. I don't even know if it's interesting content, but I'm going to try my best, because I really, really love the community and the people that I'm meeting through YouTube and Twitter. I think that's all that I have to say. My main point is I just want to have fun reading in 2024. And I had a blast in 2023. I felt like my reading finally got to where it, you know, I wanted it to be. In previous years, in 2021 and 2022, I felt like my reading kind of suffered. I wasn't finding books that I really wanted to read, because I was trying to read books that other people liked, and then I didn't like it. So I was trying to find what I liked, and I'm still trying to cultivate what I like in fantasy, what I like in sci-fi, what I like in romance, what I like in a mystery thriller. I'm still learning as I go, but I feel like in 2023 I had a much better reading year, and I think it was because I kind of slowed down my pace a little bit, whereas previous years I've read 150, 170 books, but they weren't books that I felt like were me books. And I feel like in 2023 I went back to what felt like me books, and I just want to have more of that in 2024. Okay, so that is all I have to say. And if you have any 2024 goals that I don't have, leave them down in the comments below. I want to hear all about y'all's goals. Maybe there's a goal that I missed that I want to do too. Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys later.